So next time some boomer is like, "Ugh, they don't track everything on every site. Show them this. Show them the mood pad, right? Look at that. Extended intro. Schizophrenic on a park bench, every man who threatens to rape his ex-wife and steal the children, every business executive who gets screwed and says we should bomb them. You know, we can't. We absolutely cannot. And even here's what's terrifying to me is even if we differentiate, right, between who is like actually plotting an attack, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and who is just memeing like I am on the internet when I say edgy shit, even if we could, and we probably can, you know, with
Yeah, I'm sure
statistical, it's like it's a little weird, right? Exactly. It's like I don't know, man. Like you were saying that you were uncomfortable with my sexuality. Like what are you staring at me for? I'm just trying to live and be a bro. So this is field chickweed allegedly.
As opposed to just plain chickweed?
I
Chickweed?
it said it was field chickweed. I think the the difference may be
As well.
absolutely, and I think the technological revolution is actually what pushed that.
Yeah.
And I think the preparation for the industrial era is what pushed that, and actually maybe what allowed for and facilitated the industrial era. Now, like I said, I've been obsessing with Ted Kaczynski. The industrial revolution has been a disaster for the human race.
Oh,
And there's no easy way about it. It will collapse. And as he says in his first paragraph, it'll be better if it collapses sooner than later, and they're trying to push it forward. And I don't know what to make of that. Like I'm just some person with a guitar. Like I'm not that intellectual.
Yeah.
But there's billions and billions and billions and billions of people. The structure of what it means to form thought, because we can communicate in real time.
Right.
Maybe not in our generation because we're getting close. And once that happens and the floodgates open and you can program everyone to be a hive mind, and then the system attempts to become more or less a hive mind. And that's why, you know, Ted Kaczynski was obsessed with like freedom and stuff like that.
People who are like genuinely, like from the bottom of their heart, really concerned about children, really angry at
Yeah.
the fact that pedophiles exist, and like for some reason that energy has been directed into like, and therefore all trans people need to die.
Oh yeah, I'm not
it's
even
like-
so sure that those are the same. Like, I mean, like
Sometimes they are. I mean, like specific situations. They're not always
Definitely.
necessarily.
there's definitely
like-
the strategy to try to
just
link
like-
us to it. I put out a whole episode about the Jessica Yaniv case. You know of this one? This was a guy. This was a guy who changed his name from Jonathan to Jessica, and allegedly was really unharmless. This is geranium, wood geranium. This is one of the nicest plants. So, this is in Canada, and it was a non-binary trans. Well, not. It was just like it was a gender neutral shirt option for children's swim hour.
Okay.
Right? So the event did not end up actually ever having happened. Like they didn't go through with it. But this was like something that people were very uncomfortable with. Because I mean it sounds good on paper. Oh yeah, gender neutrality. But now, and personally I do agree with this, whether it makes me a groomer or not, I don't know, but I think we shouldn't punish kids for having no shirts. The question,
they're fucking kids.
right, they're kids. But well, this was an age group of 13 to 17.
I guess I can see why that's like more of an issue, but like
Right.
I feel like that has to do with more like I don't know, other cultural factors.
Yeah, it does. It criminalizes.
Fun naked forever.
Yep. But not in this society. You're simply not allowed. And if you're going to be allowed, and it isn't going to be explicitly legal or explicitly illegal, then we're not going to let you take our kids and advertise to them without our consent.
Right.
And that's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's like, and you. So this was not like a good faith thing that this person was
Right.
doing. Like, this was something that someone spent a lot of the time like thinking about the legal ramifications of, and spent a lot of money and time creating a character to go role play out the worst of the worst.
Right.
And then leaks came out that like were like proved that they were like a grooming pedophile, which like who knows if they were true. And then like more leaks came out, and then like then
this
she
shit has
tried.
layers.
Layers, and she tries to sue to say that it was discrimination, that the electrolysis wouldn't do her dick and balls. She said that was gender discrimination. And the court threw that out. They were like, this is retarded. Get out of our courtroom. We're not even going to rule on this. That's how stupid it is. But someone was out there trying to push this as like a real agenda. And so at least in Canada, that had to be taken seriously on a court level. Just ridiculous. But I think that those things are going to come very much back to question. Like, there's so many things that we just haven't questioned
Right.
since like the 1600s, maybe like.
Like why?
So I think that when things start to collapse rapidly, those questions will start in China, because they're gonna be like, wait a minute, what do you mean the rest of the world has a different internet than we do? Like,
Yeah, because
like how long has
fair
this been
question.
right? How long has this been going on? Or worse than that, why isn't the rest of the world already speaking fucking Chinese? Why don't we erase their culture? Why don't we, instead of having our firewall protect our people from the borders? No one else can get in.
pushing it out.
Right, exactly. And I think that that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to create a digital Chinese empire that makes it fucking impossible to log into Facebook without hitting their malware.
Right.
And that their malware is going to usurp globally the entire structure of the internet to such extent that there will be no culture in 2,000 more years, if it goes that far,
Right.
that looks at anything approximating anything other than a hive mind. And there'll be different factions under that hive mind, but it'll have evolved out of the Buddhist, Chinese, militant, authoritarian.
It will be that sort of that theoretical perfect empire that can withstand fragmentation from within. Because
Yep.
the idea is that it doesn't matter what your interfactional conflicts are, as long as the whole always exists and is preserved and divided.
Yup. Meanwhile, the FBI's got like 400 people in a think tank together, trying to come up with better ideas than me and you can come up with. So even if me and you could figure out exactly what will happen, it wouldn't matter anyway, because some bigger
Yeah,
fish
I
is
also
fry.
like.
Oh shit. WikiLeaks would be Citizens Leaks. And I'll be like, what's in everyone's fucking closet? I can just go find out. And then what do we do? I don't know.
I guess
Probably just die.
My fear is mostly that like that happens and then it's like, and then what? And then nothing.
Then nothing.
Because that would piss me off.
And then we probably, worse than that, get nuclearly irradiated and nothing ever survives on this planet ever again.
Well, that's fine because at that point it won't be a problem.
Yeah, I know. It's like at that point, like, well, we were a failed experiment.
Not ideal, obviously, but you know what can you do?
It makes me wonder, like, there's probably species out there that are so alien that they're like Star Trek. Like, we couldn't even imagine it. Like, they just like exist in a completely different way and realm. And they're just like doing probably similar shit to what we're doing, like eating each other and stuff. Like, I wonder, like, if eating, like, life eating other life is like the natural, universal, constant
Maybe
thing.
it's something that only happens on Earth. We literally do not know.
It could be
We kind of fucked up.
we're the only entire like planet that eats. Like, it's just like, I always think about that, like life eating itself.
Yeah, like if we make alien contact and then they see us eating, are they
They're
gonna
like,
be
I'm sorry,
what
what's
the fuck are you doing?
what's eating? Oh, because if you say it wrong, you say it's your capo, people maybe think you're a little more sus. So this is called a capo, and it does what it looks like. It's a kink device. We're in a BDSM relationship. Oh, she loves it. Consensual. I'm gonna say that next time. enters retributions and dash. We are the angels, we are your path. This is deliverance, I am your task. Ezekiel, pick up your sword. Obey your Lord, this is guidance that's told.
You did. I really liked it.
Thanks.
Like,
Yeah, that's my favorite one to play. I'm just like, yeah.
the music here is really complex.
That is the first song I wrote. It just well, not ever, but like that's the first song that I wrote on guitar that was designed to not just be my lyrics with a guitar.
Right.
And
yeah, like that's very much like its own thing.
Yeah. I've been playing that song for a very long time.
That is, like, to me, that is some really good shit. 'Cause, like,
Thank you.
writing lyrics is hard, obviously, but like I can at least mentally conceptualize like how you do that. But I have no idea like how you write music.
I have no idea how to like survive at a grocery store. So like, yeah, I don't know. I got like min-maxed into this universe with creativity. Like I really am bursting at the seams, but I'm so disorganized. It's interesting because like there actually is there's a disciplined study behind studying personality traits and their expression, and like industriousness is one that falls under the trait conscientiousness. And interestingly enough, creativity doesn't really seem to fit in that as like a thing, but there really is nowhere else to put that. Like openness to new experience oftentimes correlates to people who do have creativity.
But not all.
Right, and it's so bizarre. It's like its own like unmeasurable thing that like can be fostered, but really does seem to be innate to the universe. Like most people have zero creativity across the board, and then on top of that they build in layers of complexity in their understanding of the universe and sometimes their ability to manage that universe.
Right.
But they have no creativity. And then there's people like me who are like
it's not really. I do think it's like something that you can train to some extent, but it's
I think so too.
harder thing to like actively train that than like a lot of other types of skills.
I think if you put like a kid in a perfect environment and always try to make them an artist and give them everything to make them creative, most of them inevitably will copy off of others, and that's probably a good thing. I think that that's really what our society is there's like a few mavericks out there, and this is tribal. I mean, this goes all the way to the core of what our souls are, not whatever the hell this modern terrible society has created.
Right, because if, you know, like if you're fucking cavemen and everyone is doing their own thing, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, they probably would not have been super too happy with me in caveman times.
Unless you're the Messiah figure of the group, then it's fine.
You know, I think about that a lot. Like, would I actually be a high priestess? I definitely wouldn't be molesting the children. That seems to be all they do these days. Get a good video of it for my vlog. My vlog's terrible because I record at 30 frames per second on this device. Well, actually 27.976. But then my other good camera recorded these ones yesterday. But I want to go film this one now. Wow. I have no idea what this is. It's a mushroom fungus. It's sporangial. Because it's got spores. Yeah. As opposed to gills. It does. So I was walking and I was confused because I thought it was this. Right? This is garlic mustard and it certainly looks that way. Right? But then I looked at this and it looked a little weird to me because it was coming off all the same stalk, right? Like that is different than this. So I was like, so I got up close to it, and I found out that this is called sweet woodruff. I used Google Lens, and it definitely is sweet woodruff. There's no question. All the sites are the same. They all say the same. And then that's a maple leaf. And then that's Virginia creeper. But yeah, so this is woodruff. All right, as an update, this is how it's looking now. As an update. Wow, they've literally removed all the rocks. That's pretty incredible. So right now, there's not a lot of support for right there. It's cool seeing like the roots, you know? It lets you know like what's like in there. That's what the road is. That's crazy. Buttercup, ground ivy, and absolutely nothing to pollinate it. Oh, one single butterfly. That's the first I've seen all year. But yeah, look, no bees, no nothing. I can't remember the last time I saw flying insects.
At least in the parks, there are like plenty of bees and shit.
They must not have hatched yet. Boy, for my fans on YouTube, good thing that I have not been recording because the last hour has been watch list tier conversations about the speculative future of China and such. This is Mandrake. Sup, Mandrake? Ooh, this one's showing off to us. It's also got this vine climbing. I don't know. That might be morning glory, but I don't actually know. Could well be. I've literally never seen Mandrake bloom. I didn't even know that Mandrake did this. That's pretty wild. I gotta learn all the different parts of the sexual organ of the flower. That way I can talk dirty about it and make people like, more sexually attracted to the power of flowers than I am to most humans. Just like the growth is so beautiful. I wish I was an insect. I'd pollinate this.
Right?
Well, this one's not blooming yet. This one is going to be this one.
Like, if I was a bug, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
The gaming.
It's probably like some fucking like Chinese guilds or something.
Yeah.
Like
global competition games.
A new piece of like the highest level content equivalent like got released, and so people were competing to see who could like clear it fastest. And it was, like a bunch.
It's the Trifolium pratense, the purple or red clover. Takes over and becomes the new default. I like invasive plants. That way they kill everything and become extremely successful, and then all of the local and native fauna will die. It's violent. Oh yeah, I was gonna give the name of it. This is what the fuck was it? I just looked it up. Rocket cress? Yellow rocket cress. Some nonsense from Eurasia. Snack. That's gonna strike at you. I haven't biked here yet this year. I probably will maybe literally tomorrow or the next day. Probably the next day after tomorrow. Because tomorrow and the next day will be rain.
Right.
Or maybe only tomorrow will be rain, and I'm thinking of...
Tomorrow,
I was gonna write today off and do nothing today, but then you hit me up and I was like, let's go.
In a perpetual state of like one open gig remaining, and they just keep deleting a couple pictures at a time and taking a couple more at a time.
That's how I do it. That's how my brain works too.
Yep.
I feel like that...
All the information is stored.
The same, yeah. Oh my goodness.
We have to delete a precious childhood memory to make room for that new stupid fact.
That's kind of how I feel at this point. Like, and at this point, I cling mostly to fictional information. Like, all the shit that you hear me spewing about politics is like, I spew it at you because none of my other friends, first of all, A, give a fuck. Second of all, B, can keep up with it. Or C, ever have a response. Like, I hang out with Jez a lot. They're fun, but like, they're not dumb. They just,
No, it's just like not
they're
the type of
they're
thing that
22.
they-
Like, that's not what they're thinking about. Like,
Yeah.
they're thinking about like, I went to this show and I liked it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I think about that too. It's just that, like, that's what I do to, like, distract myself from the, like,
Yeah, yeah,
inevitable collapse of the world.
I just obsess about the class and then talk to anybody who will listen about it. That's why I'm gonna end up on a park bench. Oh, that's actually the
Oh,
next.
legit.
And I said I was gonna release two in an album. So the first is "Help Is Not My Body." The second is and he'll have that song, "The Industrial Mower." And then the second one is "Interlude to Violence." And then the third one is shit. What the fuck was it? I had it and now it's gone. It'll come back to me.
Something about sitting on a park bench.
Oh yeah, park bench crazy.
Ah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Park bench crazy.
Truly some of the most enlightened people.
And then that one might have the Industrial Mowing Bug Holocaust song in it. And then all the
that,
Identity Crisis.
I
stuff.
mean, that song is a little funny, but it's also real. So.
It's some real shit. Like, it's funny because it's I missed a few verses like fuck your white picket fence yeah, fuck your white picket fence. Fuck your false pretense, false pretext, pickup truck. Yeah. There's a couple of verses that I missed in there. I have to have the lyrics for that song in
Yeah,
front of me
that's a
because
big
it's a complex one, yeah. It's hard for me to memorize that one. Thanks for listening to like all my music.
Yeah, you're
not
fucking
a lot of people.
good. I'm so glad I
Thanks.
finally got to hear you play.
Yeah, I've been chilling with it. Drop These Nuts song. Dropped it. You have water, yes?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's a good fucking day.
I know, it's actually really nice out. I thought it was going to be grosser.
Extended intro. What would you do? What would you do when you don't trust the thoughts in your own head? When you can't trust the goddamn word that your friends say? We are white pills, broken sawmills, fucking up for those white pills, for those pipe dreams, broken promise rings, scars and cuts on your arms, under your sleeves. Little soldier, march for your country to this war, little soldier. If it breaks you, we'll still hold you. You can cry on our knees, little soldier. In my nightmares, this guitar is a gun. In my nightmares, in my worst dreams, I am crowned king, dropping bombs on the swords of a reckoning. For those white pills, broken sawmills, fucking up for those white pills, for those pipe dreams, broken promise rings, scars and cuts on your arms, under your sleeves. Hallelujah, hallelujah, by his grace I am saved. Hallelujah, 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 in this house I am saved. Hallelujah, 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 born again I am saved. Hallelujah. Thank you. And then every single time I play that song, I'm gonna tell a different story of who wrote it. I'll be like,
okay.
I'm gonna be like, yeah,
Alright,
that was
alright.
written by a guy, you know, he was in Kentucky, he shot himself, you know, his sister died of a fentanyl overdose, and like a couple months later, and like he wrote that song, and I just thought it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then people be like, oh my god, that's so
Just
touching.
trying to carry his
Right,
spirit, you know?
right. And then the next time I tell it, I'll be like, that was actually written by not who you'd expect. It was actually a rabbi who converted to Islam first, but then found his calling in Christianity and became one of the foremost priests. But during that transitional liminary period, he wrote this like beautiful song where he just like wanted to share the joy of the Holy Spirit. And people be like, oh my god, that's so touching. And just like off dome, I'll just come up with a million different fake fucking stories for this stupid song. The name of that song is called the $5 Get Me the Fuck Out of Here song. And that is so that when the Jesus freaks show up, that I'll be like, you can't be that much, you can't spit on me, you have to give me $5. Like you have to give me $5.
You have to give me $5.
You have to. So I'll see how that goes for me in the South. I suspect not well. I'll be playing the Violent Transsexual song. Violent Transsexual. That's actually the same as the Schizophrenic Cat song. That's what it's about. It's about violent transsexuals. Violent transsexuals. I'll give them something to talk about. We're starting over after just starting out. It's such a ridiculous song. But it's gonna have like people like doing like that weird stompy dance. You know?
Yes.
That's all I want. I just want to perform it once in Albany, just like once or twice. I'm trying to think what other songs I got.
Good people would pull up for that. It'd be fun.
Oh, okay. This is the last one. Then we'll go for a walk. When the spinner act. Hey, get off of me. I'm trying to play a song. Sorry for sitting on your highway. When the spinner act slides down its web. And the hoot hoot comes out to hoot. When the cubone cries in the prairie field. And the Clefairy dance under the moon. When the storm rolls into the pasture. And the Mareep jostle for the highest points on the hill, trying desperately to be struck by lightning and evolve into Ampharos. One spooky Mareep stands alone. Green Mareep, your very spooky trick or treat. Theater's kabuki, what do you see when you're flying around with that pumpkin on your head, but you really should be dead? Green Mareep, you are too spooky, are too spooky, are too spooky for me. You are too spooky, are too spooky, are too spooky for me. I've never seen Caterpie shooting anything but string shot. I've never seen Marowak shoot a dark pulse. Oh, little Pokemon, tell me, is this true? Just one earthquake and all of you are through. Oh, little Pokemon, tell me, is this true? How come you have red ears when most of theirs are blue? How can you see when you're flying around with that pumpkin on your head, but you really should be dead? Green Mareep, your very spooky trick or treat. Peter's kabuki, what do you see when you're flying around with that pumpkin on your head, but you really should be dead, 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 dead. All of you are dead, dead, dead. Are too spooky for me. You are too spooky, are too spooky, are too spooky for me. Green Mareep, your very spooky trick or treat. Peter's kabuki, how can you see when you're flying around with that pumpkin on your head, but you really should be dead, 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 dead. All of you are dead, dead, dead. All of you are dead, 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 dead.
That's a fucking banger.
I fucking love that song. Thanks for letting me play that.
Yeah,
That song goes hard in the fucking paint. I wrote that song because I had literally no songs for kids. And I was thinking to myself, like, there may someday come a day within the next 2 years, that's how long it'll take me to learn the song and get it good, which is it's been 2 years. And then when someone was like, you know, I'll be playing for them, and then their fucking little kid will run in, and I can't be like all edgy because it's like their kid. Because Natalie had kids.
Kids like Pokemon.
Yeah, like Natalie had kids, and once that happened, I was like, shit, I can't be talking about genociding all the kids anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
I felt bad. Here's an old one that I'll play. Gonna dump my girlfriend 'cause she's shit. Gonna dump my girlfriend 'cause she's got a boyfriend and I'm not willing to share. I know that she says she loves me, she still wants to fuck me. So why the fuck is she marrying him? She said I don't wanna hear about intersectionality. I don't wanna hear about your snowflake sexuality. I wanna touch your ass on the dance floor. I said kiss me with Molly in your mouth. I don't care if it tastes like chemicals. Put a tap on my tongue. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm trying to touch your ass on the dance floor. Gonna play this song while the bitch is taking hands off, and then I'm gonna fuck all your holes. I said it's shit's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Why you so silly? I said give a fuck about intersectionality. I don't wanna hear about your stupid sexuality. I wanna touch your ass on the dance floor. I wish I was a kid again. I was a kid again. This time I want to rule the world. I wish I was a kid again. I was a kid again. But this time I want to be a girl. I wish I was a kid again. I was a kid again. I was a kid again. That's the abridged version.
That's the abridged version.
The abridged
What
version.
was cut.
Mostly a story about this girl who I don't really hang out too much with anymore.
Yeah.
Because the song never really fit quite well together with it. It was just too long because the abundance of verses. I'll play it, but as it's like it is a separate song. It's like
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jenny was my best friend ever. She'd been on hormones just a couple months longer than I had. She claims that she was trained